Very good morning. Let us wait 2 more minutes. Meanwhile, others can join us. Then we will start today's laboratory session. Thank you. Am I audible, dear students?
Yes, sir.
So what we did in last laboratory? Be quick.
Sir, we have completed till experiment 3.
Only 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically, dear students, today we are going to complete 2 experiments because we are very delayed because of your continuous absenteeism in this particular laboratory session. So today I'm going to cover 2 sessions, 2 experiments with reference to our laboratory. Okay. Now, as our subject is having title of Electronic Measurement Laboratory, dear students, am I audible? Hello? Please respond me so that I can...
Yes, sir.
My screen is visible to you. Is it so?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. It's our 4th experiment, biosensor, pulse measurement technique. Our subject title is Electronic Measurement Laboratory. So we can measure various things with the help of various quantities. Okay. So similarly over here in today's laboratory, we are going to see about to study the performance of biosensor. Okay. So in the beginning, I have placed one small video so that you can understand what is pulse oximeter. Nowadays, due to the corona pandemic, most of you have seen this gadget, but how this gadget works, that thing is nicely explained over here in this particular video. Okay, so first watch this video and then we will proceed further. Okay, just tell me whether you people are able to listen audio of this particular video.
Hello everyone, welcome to Out of the Box Reviews.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello everyone, welcome to Out of the Box Reviews. Today we are talking and how can you use it. An oximeter is a small device that does exactly what the name implies. It measures the amount of oxygen in your bloodstream and it displays the concentration as a percentage on its screen, just like a thermometer measures body temperature. These devices have been in use for years by medical professionals in order to get a first view of a patient's condition. Luckily, technology has made it possible for all of us to own one such device at a very low cost. And given the situation the world is currently in, I believe that all households should have at least one. This particular oximeter is made out of 2 plastic parts that are connected with a hinge. It has a single button for all its functions and one colored LCD display. By pressing and holding the hinged part, the infrared sensor is visible. Everything is powered by 2 AAA batteries. Now let's take a look at how it works. By pressing the button once, the unit turns on and information appears on the screen. In this case, besides the oxygen amount, we also have a pulse meter function. By pressing the button again, you scroll through the different screen orientations available to find the one that suits you the most. The unit will turn off by itself when not in use. In order to enter the menu, you press and hold the button for 3 seconds. Here you can set the maximum and minimum accepted values for both the oxygen amount and the heart pulse. You can also customize the alarm effects of the unit. Now let's see how to use it. Using the device is very simple. Simply press the button once to turn the unit on and the sensor will start flashing. If you need to change the orientation of the screen, press the button again. And then stick your index finger in the device, making sure that the best part of your fingertip is covering the sensor. If your finger is in the correct position, you will see a representation of your pulse coming up in the screen. Try to keep still and in a few seconds the oxygen amount and your current pulse rate will appear on the screen. As I said, it's a very simple device and extremely useful for everyone. However, I must inform you that this device cannot replace the diagnosis from a real medical doctor. You should treat it just like a thermometer. It's an indication at best, not a full medical diagnosis. This was Out of the Box Reviews. Thank you all for watching, and remember to stay protected and safe out there. Thank you.
Hello. Should I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
So, it's my index for today's laboratory session. Aim, pre-test, theory, simulator, and VLab. Okay. So, our aim is to study the performance of biosensor. Basically, these sensors are made up of electronics, but they are widely used for measurement of biomedical sensors. Okay, biomedical signals. Okay, so they are called as a biosensor, and especially in today's laboratory we are going to deal with pulse measurement technique. Okay, pulse measurement with the help of pulse oximeter. Our objective is to understand the performance of pulse measurement, study the technique used for the pulse measurement, understand the design considerations for biosensor. So if you want to make this kind of gadget, then how it is possible? Okay, how you can make it? Pre-test is given, but as probably as it's online, so I am insisting that you should take pre-test after the performance of this experiment. Okay, so for sake of understanding, I have placed solution 2 over here in my presentation. So prerequisites. Before performing this experiment, student must have knowledge about working of typical diode and LED, light spectrum, and effect of various factors that affect light output of an LED, example temperature, wavelength, etc. Okay, so basically, are you having any idea about diode, dear students? Are you having any idea about diode? I'm asking this question to you guys. Please respond me.
Yes, sir.
So say something about it.
So,
I'm
for
feeling-
example, PN junction diode,
Okay. It is made up of.
semiconducting device.
Okay. And say some characteristics of semiconductor devices.
Mm,
Semiconductor devices are having effect of the temperature as well as wavelength. If temperature, or I can say like if surrounding temperature increases, in that case conductivity of the semiconductor material gets changed. Even if light falls on the material, even in that case conductivity of the semiconductor material gets changed. Okay, now pulse measurement. Okay, so before going for pulse measurement, we should be aware about pulse rate. Okay, so pulse is the rate at which human hearts beats. Pulse is also commonly called as a heart rate, which is the number of times the heart beats each minute, beats per minute. Okay, so I'm not going in depth of this particular biological details, but rhythm, heart rhythm is very essential. It should be normal. If blood flow is not proper, in that case a person may have various diseases. So to overcome this kind of thing, we should have very well idea about pulse rate. Okay, so one can check pulse rate in the morning even. So that particular pulse is called as a resting pulse. Okay, and pulse changes from minute to minute. Even it will be faster during exercise, even during fever, and even in the condition of the stress. Okay, while it will be slower at the resting condition. Okay, so pulse is nothing but through which we can check the functionality of the heart. In emergency situation, the pulse rate can help to check whether heart is pumping enough blood or not, find the cause of symptoms such as irregular or rapid heartbeat, dizziness, fainting, chest pain, or shortness of the breath. Check for the blood flow after an injury or when a blood vessel is blocked. Check on medicines or diseases that cause a slow heart rate. The doctors may ask to check the pulse every day for heart patient or a person undergoing medical treatments with certain medicines that can slow the heart rate. Check general health and fitness level. Checking the pulse rate at rest, during exercise, or immediately after strict exercise can give important information about overall fitness level. Okay, now that was biological description, and it was definitely we are not interested that much in that particular detail. But now it's the electronic part. On right hand side there is one image. Is it visible, dear students? Are you able to see the image? I'm talking about these two images.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, now basically two ways are there through which we can detect pulse. Okay, and pulse oximeter works on two different principles. First one is transmittance and second is a reflectance. Okay, in transmittance, okay, first let me explain you the basic working principle of the pulse oximeter. There is one LED and there is one detector circuit. So LED is going to emit the light. Even probably during this video, uh, let me just show you that particular portion. Okay, it is somewhere, it should be. See over here, just have a look over here in this particular portion. It's a LED. Okay, so this LED will turn and turn off continuously, and at upper side, at it's LED, and at upper side there is one receiving circuit. Okay, so that receiving circuit is nothing but detect. Okay, in between them we are putting human finger. Okay, so it will pass through veins and accordingly intensity of the light will change and it will be detected by the detector circuit. Okay, so this kind of configuration is called as a transmittance. Second is a reflectance, in which LED and detector circuits are placed together. Okay, LED and detector circuits are placed together, and when LED start emitting light, it will get reflected with human finger, and that reflection we are receiving at the detector circuit. Okay, detector circuit. So we can convert light into the electrical signal with the help of detector circuit. Okay, so the reflection as well as transmittance details are explained over here. That thing you can go through it. Okay, so a reflectance probe has an LED and photodiode. Photodiode means As a detector circuit, you can have photodiode. Photodiode is a device which converts light variations into equivalent electrical signals. Okay, so it must be placed over the point with underlying bond. Light is emitted by the LED. It passes through the tissue and blood vessels, reflects off bone, passes through the tissue again, and then it is detected. So it is nothing but reflectance circuit. Okay, and a significant amount of light will be reflected off the screen in the reflectance setup, and unlike in transmittance setup, the light will be detected. So in transmission, light will be detected over here at another end. Okay, so this particular process is called as a photoplethysmograph. Photoplethysmograph. Okay, now moving in little bit more depth about device. Okay, device called pulse oximeter. Okay, so we are going in technical terms, technical discussion. Okay, over here the name given is photoplethysmograph. Okay, so this entire process is called as a photoplethysmograph. Over here it is mentioned that the device used to measure the amount of blood in the part of body using light is commonly known as a photoplethysmograph. Photoplethysmograph. Okay, so what happens over here? Just have a look on my cursor. Okay, highlight on my pointer. So it's a human finger. Okay, here LED is mentioned and VCC. VCC is nothing but source of the LED. Okay, so what happens when light falls on this? While light gets generated with the help of battery is denoted as a VCC or power supply. Okay, so LED start emitting the light. Okay, it will pass through this human finger, and over here light dependent resistor, even you can say photodiode or phototransistor, we can place. Okay, so it is going to convert light into equivalent electrical signal. Okay, then signal conditioning circuit is there. So it's a nothing but basic block diagram of instrumentation system. So the amount of light gets converted into electrical signal is very small. So it will be amplified, it will be filtered, and one stable signal will be created at the output of signal conditioning circuit. Okay, now as you people are aware that in pulse oximeter we are having digital display. Okay, so with the help of ADC, one microcontroller based circuit is there. It is going to convert analog signal into the digital signal. Over here, there will be one logic. Amount of light is equal to this much amount of pulses. Okay, so based on that, digital display is going to respond us. Okay, so that particular process is explained over here. A typical pulse oximeter uses a basic principle of a pair of small LEDs operating at two different wavelengths. Okay, so it can be red LED or even it can be infrared LED. Okay, wavelength for red LED is 660 nanometer, while for infrared LED it is 910 nanometer. The LEDs are designed to be placed opposite a photodiode that detects the light from the LED. So I have already explained this thing to you people. Okay, so now we are interested in designing of such kind of devices. So whenever you are going to design any product at that moment, you should take care various factors. Okay, so we are going to see them in detail. If you want to make this device, if you want to go for mass production of this device, then we should take care for various factors. Okay, motion artifacts. First, thing is motion artifact. So if you are measuring, if you have visited doctor and if doctor is measuring your pulses, in that case, what he is going to do? He is going to pick your hand. He is going to put your hand on the flat surface of the table, and then he will put pulse oximeter, and he will say that be steady, don't move. Okay, so that we can have stable output. Okay, if we are going to stretch muscles, in that case the signal which we are capturing, it will have some defects, some issues. Okay, so it is called as a motion artifact, so we need to consider it. Optical interference, as you people are now very well aware that with the help of photoplethysmograph process we are acquiring the pulse information. Okay, so over here it is very essential that light, external light should not enter into the pulse oximeter. If it is going to enter, in that case it may deviate our observation. Even as it is made up of LED and photodiode or phototransistor, so LED and photodiode or even phototransistor, they are made up of semiconductor materials. Okay, so its output is highly affected by the temperature. Okay, so its accuracy will reduce, so we should take care for the same. Even at one side LED is there, at second side detector is there. Even in reflectance, two LED and detector circuits are placed together. Okay, so over there, if the distance is not proper between source and detector circuit, in that case it may create ambiguity. Okay, so we may not have correct observation, so we need to take care for these 4 parameters. Okay, few advantages are listed over here. Fast operation, easy to use, accurate reading, non-invasive method of the measurement, and reliable. Some limitations are there. This instrument is used to measure pulse per minute, ppm. Am I right? It cannot check amount of the blood flow, and for that other instruments are there. Okay, even it cannot tell us about the amount of hemoglobin present in the blood. Okay, similar kind of other devices are there. Okay, I have placed one another video which biological information is explained. Biological information. Okay, so let me add audio and then we will listen that video.
Welcome to the Stanford 25 video on pulsus paradoxus. Pulsus paradoxus is defined as a systolic pressure drop greater than 10 with inspiration. Normally, during inspiration, the decrease in intrathoracic pressure will cause an increase in blood flow to the right side of the heart, leading to an increase in pressure transmitted to the right ventricular walls. Since more blood remains in the lungs during inspiration, a small drop in systolic blood pressure is expected. However, in tamponade, the increase in blood flow and pressure on the right ventricle during inspiration cannot be transmitted to the right ventricular wall, and is in turn transmitted to the ventricular septum. This in turn leads to a decrease in left ventricular filling, which causes a decrease in stroke volume and a much lower systolic blood pressure. To measure pulsus paradoxus, all you need is a stethoscope and a blood pressure cuff. To test for pulsus paradoxus, slowly look for the first Korsakoff sound that will appear, then disappear during inspiration. Next, slowly listen for when the first Korsakoff sound no longer disappears with inspiration. This clip was recorded from a patient at Stanford University with a pericardial effusion. Pulsus paradoxus can be a valuable clinical tool and has been shown to have a sensitivity of 98% and a specificity of 83% in predicting cardiovascular compromise. Along with tamponade, pulsus paradoxus can be seen in some patients with constrictive pericarditis, during asthma or COPD exacerbations, and less commonly in other clinical scenarios. Importantly, pulsus paradoxus may not be present despite a patient being in cardiac tamponade in certain situations such as aortic regurgitation and atrial septal defect. In addition to other findings such as an elevated jugular venous pressure, tachycardia, and shortness of breath, pulsus paradoxus can serve to be a valuable tool in the evaluation of a patient with suspected cardiac tamponade. This has been the Stanford 25 video on pulsus paradoxus. Thanks for watching.
Now, virtual lab simulation. Okay, so that link and we will proceed for VLab simulation. So over here, second experiment is to simulate the performance of biosensor. So aim, I have already prepared beautiful PPT for you people, and in that PPT I have already placed this thing, aim, objective, even pre-test, even theory too. Okay, in theory I have already explained each and everything in detail. Along with that, I have added 2 videos so that you can understand this thing easily. In simulator, let us go to the simulator over here. Dear students, is it visible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Basically,
Yes, sir.
what they did, instead of human finger, they have taken one wheel. At the outer periphery of that wheel, it is having holes. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now over here, special thing is we are going to pass this light through the hole. Okay, so LED is there, hole is there. Okay, so light will pass through that hole and it will be detected over here with the help of detector circuit and then signal conditioning circuit and display. Okay, now as we are going to increase the size, increase the speed, what happens? This will start rotating. Okay, so right now wheel speed is 0.5 rotation per minute. So it is rotating at a very slower speed. But if I am considering wheel speed at one rotation, are you able to see the rotation? Red light globe is moving. Red light globe is moving. Okay, so this wheel is having 60 holes on its outer periphery. So it is indicating that BPM. Okay, now I'm increasing the speed double. So what happens? Just observe the speed. It is going to revolve twice per minute. Okay, and as it is having 60 holes in its outer periphery, so it is going to cover twice. Okay, so our answer is nothing but 60 into 2 is equal to 120. Okay, now next, level 2. Now in level 2, basically we have seen that over here various ranges are given. Okay, so consider heartbeat. Okay, so it is nothing for 1 month to 12 months. It is having heartbeat from 80 to 140. Consider you people. Okay, 12 years adult. Okay, so your heartbeats are nothing but 60 to 100. It should be within this particular range. Okay, so with the help of that we can measure pulses. Now let us move to the level 3. Now basically, as we have seen that varieties of errors can be there which can alter our output. So first error is effect of misalignment. So just have a look on the LED. See, its second is a stray light. Okay, so if outer lights falls on the detector circuit, in that case we may not have actual observation, and in misalignment just have a look on the finger. Okay, so finger is not properly placed in between LED and detector circuit, so we are not getting appropriate observation. Okay, so by this way we can perform these 3 sections. Dear students, is there any confusion in these 3 sections?
No, sir.
Okay, so can I say we have completed total 4 experiments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now moving towards next experiment. That is nothing but strain gauge. I don't know why over here that those slides are not. I have to share full screen because I'm unable to show you some of the things. Okay, no worries. Okay, I need to add audio too because audio is required over here. It's our fifth experiment to understand the working principle of the strain gauge. So today in this lab we will understand working of one transducer called strain gauge. Why we are going for this strain gauge? Because our subject title is Electronic Measurement Laboratory. So over here it is expected that one should study various electronic instruments, electronic measurement based instrument, electronic measuring instrument, electronic measuring transducers, electronic measurement based sensors. Okay, so this strain gauge is one of them which is widely used for varieties of application, and it is having very usefulness in industry. So in this experiment we are going to learn about strain gauge. Okay, gauge means dial, dial means indication, and strain means it's a one sort of force or one sort of pressure. Okay, so that thing we can measure with the help of some indication. So the main meaning of gauge is dial or display. Okay, for that I have placed this analog indicator over here. Now just have a look on this video so that entire process will become easy. Is it audible?
If you
Yes, sir.
Find this video interesting, then please like and share it. Also, leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon for notifications.
The next transducer that we will study is strain gauge. A strain gauge is a passive transducer which converts the mechanical elongation and compression into the resistance change. We know that the resistance is given as R equals rho into L upon A. Strain gauge uses the property that change in the length and area of cross-section of a wire changes its resistance. The characteristics of the strain gauge are measured in terms of a gauge factor, which is defined as a unit change in resistance per unit change in length of the strain gauge wire. It is given by a formula GF equals dR upon R upon dL upon L, where R equals resistance of the gauge wire in ohms, dR equals change in resistance of a wire in ohms, L equals length of a wire in unstressed condition in meters, dL equals.
See, it's a one type of resistive transducer. Okay, so R is equal to rho L by A. Okay, so just have a look on this particular shape. Are you able to see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
So basically what happens when any kind of stress or pressure is applied at that time, this special structure wire feels pressure and its length gets changed. Okay, so its resistance gets changed. Okay, and that is nothing but that we are calculating in terms of gauge factor. GF is nothing but gauge factor here.
Change in length of a wire in stress condition in meters. Strain gauges are mainly classified into two types, such as semiconductor gauge and a wire gauge. Wire gauge is again subdivided into three types as bonded, unbonded, and foil type strain gauge. We will only focus on bonded strain gauge. These gauges are bonded with cement to the surface. The shape of the wire grid can be square, rectangular, circular, etc. Bonded strain gauge has two leads.
So basically, based on the application, based on the requirement, based on the accuracy, based on the precision, these shapes are having variations. If you are going to search various shapes, then you will find too many shapes. Okay, so as per the application, these shapes are having variations. Okay.
If you find this video interesting, then please like and
As the gauge wire changes its length, its resistance changes, and corresponding change in resistance gives us the required output.
if you find this video interesting, then please.
Okay, so it's my index for today's laboratory. For this particular experiment, aim, pre-test, theory, simulator, and virtual lab link. So our aim is to understand the working principle of the strain gauge, and by performing this experiment, what we are going to do, we are going to plot the characteristics of the strain gauge, understand the effect of various parameters on the strain gauge performance. Okay, there are various parameters which are affecting the output of the strain gauge. So whenever we are designing this kind of circuits, at that moment we should take care for those parameters. Here pre-test is given, which you can take after performance of this particular experiment. Okay, even I have provided its solution too, so that you can understand and you can verify your answers. So basically, just have a look on this particular image. This image belongs to you people. What you can say by just looking towards this image? Why I have placed one word called stress? Why? Is it having any relation with stress? Is this image is having any relation with stress? Dear students, am I audible? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So, is there anything related to stress in this particular image? Are you able to see anything related to stress in this particular image? Yes, it is mental stress. Am I right? One computer engineer or one EC engineer who is working in a company, he is sitting on his desk, he is simulating some circuitry, and he is feeling little bit stress. Okay, so but over here, in our case, that is different stress. Okay, so here the meaning of stress is the force generated inside an object in response to the applied external force. Okay, this internal force divided by the cross-sectional area of the object is called as a stress, and it is measured in terms of Pascal. Pascal means Newton per meter square. Okay, if the direction of the external force is vertical to the cross-sectional area, the stress is called as a vertical stress. Okay, so over here one equation is given as called as a Poisson's ratio. Okay, each material has a certain ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain. So transversal strain upon axial strain. Okay, so we can find stress in a material if we can find the strain initiated by the external force. Now these are nothing but actual images of the strain gauge. Okay, these are nothing but actual images of the strain gauge. Now, strain gauge is sometimes referred as a strain gauge. Is one sensor whose resistance changes with applied force. It converts the force, pressure, tension, weight, etc. into a change in electrical resistance which can be then measured. When external forces are applied to a stationary object, a stress and strain are the result. Stress is defined as the material internal resisting forces, and strain is defined as the displacement and deformation that occurs inside the body of the object. So the strain gauge is one of the most important sensor of the electrical measurement technique applied to the measurement of mechanical quantities. As their name indicates, they are used for the measurement of strain. As a technical term, strain consists of a tensile and compressive strain distinguished by a positive and negative sign. Thus, a strain gauge can be used to pick up expansion as well as contraction, and that is why in that animation it was shown that compression as well as expansion. Okay. Strain of the body is always caused by external influence or an internal effect. Strain might be caused by the forces, pressure, moment, heat, structural changes of the material, and the like. If certain conditions are fulfilled, the amount or the value of the influencing quantity can be derived from the measured strain value. In experimental stress analysis, this feature is widely used. Experimental stress analysis uses the strain values measured on the surface of a specimen or a structural part. Consider application related to civil engineering. So consider you are willing to find the life of the bridge. Okay, any bridge. So over there, if you are going to put this kind of strain gauge, and by just looking to the strain and stress, you can measure the length of the, or you can propose the length of this particular bridge. Okay, so special transducer can be designed for the measurement of forces or other derived quantities. Example, moments, pressure, acceleration, displacements, vibrations, and others. The transducer generally contains a pressure-sensitive diaphragm with a strain gauge mounted to it. What is diaphragm? Hello? One word is there, diaphragm. What it is? Hello? Hello? Dear students, what is diaphragm? 2 number. Five number.
Yes, sir.
What is diaphragm?
Sir, it is present in a body.
Consider microphone or loudspeaker. It contains one cardboard type of material. It is called as a diaphragm. It is very sensitive material which is responsible for audio generation. Okay, so even for pressure measurement, this kind of sensitive diaphragms are widely used so that we can have accurate measurement. Okay, dear?
Yes, sir.
So basically varieties of types are there with strain gauge. Among them, first is mechanical. Okay, over here two plastic separate layers are used. Okay, and bottom layer and upper layer. Okay, and one layer is glued to one side of the crack and another layer to the other side. Okay, and if crack opens, in that case we can measure the stress level, but we are not interested in mechanical things. Second is electrical. Okay, most common electrical strain gauges are thin rectangular shaped strips of the foil with maze-like wiring patterns on them, leading to a couple of electrical cables. So the strain gauge which we are studying over here, it is nothing but electrical. Okay, the theory part, even the video which we have seen, it belongs to the electrical strain gauge. When material is strained, the whole strip is very slight, bent out of the shape, and the mesh-like wires are either pulled apart or pushed together. Changing the width of a metal wire changes the electrical resistance and it changes the output current. Okay. Third is the piezoelectric material based strain gauges. As we are aware that various crystals are natural. Okay. So among them, quartz are known to us because in all type of watches and wrist watches, clocks, it is widely used. Okay. So if pressure is applied to the quartz material, it start vibrating and it produces the current. Okay. So same concept is used over here through which we can have measurement of unknown devices. Okay, unknown parameter. So a strain gauge take advantage physical property of the conductance, electrical conductance. It does not depend on electrical properties. Okay, and when an electrical conductor is stretched within its limit of elasticity, it does not break. So consider it is, let me explain this thing very easily. Consider you are in one ruling scale, okay, and you are holding that scale at one end and at another end you are giving some pressure in downwards. So what happens? It will feel stress. Okay, and deform will occur. So the characteristics of the strain gauges are described in terms of gauge factor. Gauge factor is defined as unit change in resistance per unit change in the length of the strain gauge wire. Okay, that is nothing but delta R upon Rg upon epsilon. Epsilon is strain. Okay, effect of the temperature. Okay, the resistive type strain gauges are sensitive to the temperature variation. So we should take care for the temperature variation and we should put it to the appropriate place. Even we may compensate temperature variation with the help of some tricky circuits. Okay, the tricky circuit contain dummy gauges. Just have a look on the diagrams. So it is Wheatstone bridge. In Wheatstone bridge, we have placed one strain gauge. Okay, so this configuration is called as a quarter bridge. This configuration is called as a half bridge, where two strain gauges are placed. Over here, full bridge, where we have placed four different bridges, four different resistive strain gauges in the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Okay, so over here, through which we can remove the effect of the temperature and we can balance the bridge. Next is a virtual lab simulation link. Okay, and it's the end of the presentation. Now let us move to the VLab simulation. Just wait for a moment. Let us take 2-minute break over here. I'm going for drinking water. We will meet within 2 minutes. Okay. Am I audible, dear students?
Yes, sir.
So, in electrical engineering, sensor modeling and simulation lab were the list of experiment, and we were performing about experiment called strain gauge. Okay, so aim I have already covered through the PPT presentation. Pre-test was already placed in the slides, even with solution 2. Okay, theory portion was placed along with videos so that you can understand each and everything very easily, and these arrangements were also explained to you people. Okay, and these are some of the details which I have covered in my explanation. Next is simulator. Now just have a look on the theory portion. Basically, strain gauge is nothing but it's a resistive transducer. So it's a one Wheatstone bridge circuit, and strain gauge is a resistive transducer. So we are putting it as a we are considering it as one resistor, and we are putting it in a Wheatstone bridge circuit. Okay, so here first in the simulation I have shared my browser with you people. Is it visible, dear students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So consider copper, or even we may consider tungsten, titanium, even alloys and other materials are there. So consider copper. Consider input voltage. Why input voltage is required? Because here battery is essential. So battery is connected over here. Are you able to see the animation?
Yes, sir.
Now consider the resistance. Okay, so consider 120 ohm. So 4 resistances are there. Now over here, as we have seen in theory, various configurations are possible. So even we may use quarter bridge, even we may use half quarter adjacent bridge, half bridge adjacent arm, half bridge opposite arm, or even we may go for the full bridge configuration. Okay, and consider particular gauge factor. Okay, so I'm considering 1000 ohm resistance over here, 1000 ohm resistance over here, and configuration as a full bridge, or let us consider it as a quarter bridge. Gauge factor is 2, and then configure. So it will tell me, should I confirm this configuration? Do you want to continue with this configuration? Yes, definitely I will go with it. Okay, so now it is telling me to add particular weight. Okay, so I'm considering 1 kg, and one formula is given over here through which I can have calculation of output. Okay, so now I'm selecting 2 kg, and And as we are following the same thing, we are selecting 3 different values. Okay, so I am having particular plot with me. On x-axis, weight is there. On y-axis, output in millivolt is there. So what we can say by just looking towards this graph, dear students? Tell me what we can say by looking towards this graph.
Linearly increasing.
Okay. So as weight change, output changes linearly. So y is equal to mx plus c. It shows the linearity. Okay. Now moving towards level 2. So should I continue with this same configuration? Yes, I am confirming it and I am moving further. Okay. Now what it is telling me, effect of the position. Okay. So I am considering various positions. So probably you people are able to see the variations. Okay. And I'm just plotting it. So what we can say on x-axis, position is there. On y-axis, output is there. Even so we can say that as position is near to the central arm, output will reduce. So if we want more output, in that case we should put it at the end so that we can have clear cut output. Now level 3. Okay, so here value of RG means this strain gauge resistance value, it is 1001.5065 ohm. Okay, now if I'm changing the temperature, those values gets changed, and even I can plot that curve. So what we can conclude by looking towards this graph, dear students? Hello, we can say that as temperature increases, output will decrease. Okay, so it's a negative temperature coefficient with strain gauge. Okay, over here that entire procedure is provided step-wise, stages-wise. In case of audio video, one gentleman from Pune is explaining this entire experiment. Okay, so even if you are doing this simulation at your home, you can, if you are facing any issue, then even you can view this video and you can rectify your error. Post test is available over here and review questions too. Okay, what is gauge factor, what is its significant, references are available over here. Okay, and feedback is also available over here if you want to give any feedback. So dear students, is there any confusion about today's experiment?
No, sir.
Who has joined recently? Dear students, I'm asking this question to you guys who has joined recently. I want to know the reason. Even with the help of attendance record, I can verify, I can tell that thing to you people, but I want that you should be responsible and you should give me your answer. Dear students, I am asking this thing to you people. Please tell me. Okay, no worries. I will consider that particular person as absent in today's laboratory as he is not willing to say he is not willing to reveal his identity. I'm pasting two messages in chat window. Okay. One more thing, in next lab I will check total 5 experiments. I have already pasted name of those experiments in chat window. Just have a look on chat window. Dear students, are you able to see the chat window?
Yes, sir.
So how you are going to write the file? 11 number. 11 number. Okay, he's not interested in today's laboratory session, so he left. And even as I said, I can see who have joined laboratory at when he left. So he has just joined the laboratory before few moments. So 5 number is present, 2 number is present, 7 number is present, 6 number is present, 12 and 13. They are present. So aim apparatus, theory, diagrams, observation table, calculations, graph, procedure, conclusion, and review question. This many things you should write in your file. Over here, in the case of procedure, they have provided huge procedure. So avoid that thing and just mention single statement. We have followed VLab simulation steps here. Okay, dear students, is there any confusion?
No, sir.
So in next laboratory, I will check total 5 experiments, and before our laboratory starts, it is expected that you should email me, or even at this moment let it be email. You should email me those experiments by writing it in your file pages. Okay, dear students.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a good time. You may leave now. Probably
Thank you.
today
Thank you, sir.
I will share your marks of professional ethics subject. Only 1 or 2 questions are remaining in assessment. So probably today I will share your marks. You may leave now.